Hi, guys. Oh, goodness. Okay. So things are a bit better. We're happy about that. We do have to still do some on the go footage because, I've been sick all this month and it's not been fun. But we progress. We move on. It is January. It is the top of the year. Like we're almost out of January and like it's not going to be easy, but consistency is key because we trying to get this page popping. As you can see, I'm outside still scarfed up and ready for the winter. It has not been that easy to film the last couple weeks, but you know what? It's been a welcome challenge for me to figure out where I can film and what I can do and what I'm capable of doing. So to be fair, I'm really proud of myself, if I'm being honest. So I'm in my neighborhood. I have to go to work soon, but I was like, let me just hop on here and start out my part two so that I can get things popped. I'm gonna get my bearings together. Oh, so technically this is reason number 6. But let me just tell you right now, it is a really good one to start off with such a crazy life that I've been living the past couple weeks in my schedule because it's work-life balance. And let's be honest, it's really hard to do that, especially when everything is changing. But I would say reason number 6 is work-life balance. Reason number 1 being in the UK, there's more holiday dates. And so that means that you're able to be at home more, be on holiday more, be with your family more, do the things that you love more because the work-life balance is a more healthy circumstance. For instance, in America, I get a solid 2 weeks, 14 days of holiday. And most times in my job that I do, with what I do, you have to take a week at a time at the very least, which is not very nice because if you want to take a few days here and you can't separate it like that. You have to take it all in lump sums. So I really don't like that. Here, you get minimum 28 days. And I say that because like a lot of people under my contract, they're getting like maybe 31 days holiday. I'm getting 28 because of the kind of contract I'm under. But that's a whole month of holiday dates that I can do all kinds of things within that. It doesn't even include like if I had to stay home and watch my daughter because the nanny couldn't come today dates. It's not inclusive of any of that stuff. They're all separate. So you can imagine separating them like that really makes it even more days off. And the energy that you get from people when they on holiday, they mean that they're on holiday and nothing's going to stop that holiday. Here, it is very important to spend that family time. It's very important to spend that quality time with your loved ones and the people that your friends and the people that you really care about. It is better mentally when you're living a life like that because mentally you don't feel like you have to just keep going and going and going. With that being said, the camaraderie at work, like I feel like at home in America, I always wanted to be at work because I didn't want anybody to take my spot. I didn't want anybody to be at my job taking my position. I never wanted to lose my place. And I feel like with that, you're not in fear of losing your place at work. You're just not. You know it's safe. You know you're safe. You know your job security is safe if you just go on this holiday and take care of yourself. So that is number 6. Reason number 6, work-life balance. Reason number 7, I talked a little bit about this in my last video. I'm sitting here literally on my car, just in my hood. Lower gun-related crime. I don't know. I work late. I get home at midnight on a regular day. And it is London. It is a large city. There are a lot of people here. There is crime. It is a different type of crime. You choose your sin. You choose your bad thing. Like at home, it's guns. Here, it's knives. But lower gun related crime, like I'll take it because I talked about how uncomfortable I am with even having to have a gun to survive in America. Anyway, so lower gun related crime, but not just being around guns, like having to own a gun to survive. That's the thing. Like some of my family members, they have weapons. But they're not horrible people, but sometimes you have to have them to protect yourself in a place where people can easily get them to go about their business. And I think that to me is not something that I want to be a part of. Like, I just don't want to have to own a gun to live where I live. If I have to live there and own a gun, then I'd rather not live there. And as a mom, I don't really want it in my house. I understand how frustrating it can be, to try to keep basic things out of reach of children. And between me and my partner, we have a lot of kids. So when it's all said and done, I don't want to have to explain to my daughter what she might find when it comes to that. I know I can be very forgetful, even with the most dangerous, ridiculous things. I don't want to have to explain my gun. I don't want it to be a conversation. I don't want it to be in the house. I don't want her to stumble upon it. I don't want it to be a part of my life and my family. It just doesn't feel like it needs to be a part of my life and my family. I don't want to have to protect myself with weapons. I don't want to live anywhere like that by choice. I don't. So, yeah, lower gun related crimes. Reason number 7. Thank you, Sugar Lump. Close the door, baby. Oh my guys. The struggle. So I'm exhausted. I don't feel like I can get much done. And I'm pushing through boundaries to make sure I meet these deadlines. I'm making it happen. I'm also learning that I definitely need to figure out like a content day and do like a few in a row so that the pressure of me doing it last minute doesn't even exist. But that's neither here nor there. We are on 10 reasons why I moved away from America. We have done 6 and 7. We are on 8, 9, and 10 tonight. So 8 for me, proximity to Europe. The proximity to Europe is so close. Now, mind you, a few years ago, they did Brexit, which makes it a little bit more complicated and different. But nonetheless, everything is so close. Tickets are inexpensive. Everything is very, 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 very close. The process of going on holiday is a lot simpler. Flights are cheaper because it's closer. And when I say close, I mean like I can be in another country in an hour. Literally, like it takes an hour and a half to get to Paris and a couple hours to get to Amsterdam. Like those are 2 different countries I named. The travel is just a little simpler because everything is so close. In general, all the rules are very similar when it comes to traveling, but it's just really nice when you're planning holidays and you know that you don't have to go very far to get to certain places. Like these cities are so enchanting and they're so close. If I'm being honest, also like a lot of the places here in the UK are just absolutely gorgeous. There's so many gems that I have not been able to visit just visiting here in this country alone. But if you just can imagine, like in an arm's reach, you have like Brussels, you have like Holland, which is where Amsterdam is, you have France, you have Italy, you have all of these places that are just like up the road. Literally, Spain is like up the street. It would take me longer to drive to my grandma's house in Michigan from Indiana, which is 1 state away, than it would for me to go to Paris. There's no turning back from that. Like it takes me longer to see family at home and they live in the same city than it does for me to get to another country. It's just really nice, which means, travel is fairly cheap. Going back to the whole work-life balance, it makes it much easier because once you're able to travel and you want to take your family places, it's just easier to get there. Some places you can drive, like there is a fast train that you can take to get to Paris. I mean, she not cheap, but you can literally put your car on this train and go to a whole nother country. And that's another thing. You can drive to these other countries. Now, the way it works is like, if I were to drive to Germany, though, but Germans, they drive on the same side of the road as Americans, which is the opposite is here. I can still drive from here to there in whatever car I drive in on. It's just so neat that you can visit completely entire cultures with different rules and laws and food within 45 minutes to an hour of each other, depending on which direction you go. And when I say that, I mean by flight. I don't mean by car. It's not that close, but you can get in your car and you can travel through multiple countries over the span of a week and see so much. I keep wanting to plan this nice, like, European tour in a car. But it's a little scary. It's a little terrifying because of that sometimes, because it's like each country has its own rules and you're not going very far to be in a whole new land. But I just love that. It encourages me to get out, which I don't need that much help of encouragement, but it does definitely encourage me to go to other places because they're so close and it's very convenient to get to them. It's like at home. Why leave America? Everything's right here. It's also so big that's like by the time you get out of it, even from New York to LA, it's 5-6 hours. So by the time I get out of my own country, like it's exhausting, like the travel itself. So with that being said, jet lag is not really that deep. It's not a big deal, which I love. Close proximity to other European countries is definitely number 8. Gosh, this next one though, number 9, rich architecture. Okay. I have a few things to say about this one. Now, I do adore that America is newer. So everything's new. The homes are new, buildings new, streets new. There is a niceness to living on a newer land because when you live on a newer land, everything is fresh. Everything's the first time. Like moving to a flat or an apartment, there ain't flats in America, they're apartments. Moving to an apartment and you're the first one in the kitchen, or you move into a house and you're the first one to use the stove. I like that. Everything's an adventure with the lines and curves of the buildings and architecture and the colors of the spaces here in London. It's so magical under so many circumstances. Let's take Christmas, for instance. God bless the Queen. It's the King now. But she decorated these streets with lights and themes, and different areas of the city have themes and color schemes. And it is superbly magical being in Europe during Christmas, anywhere in Europe, but especially the UK. And I have these moments where when I leave the house, like, because I'm so used to it now, I forget that I live in London. And I can't believe I'm able to forget, because when you look around and you look at the history and the buildings and the architecture, like, it's like so fascinating and so beautiful, but also are able to modernize it. Like a lot of areas, like you have to keep the history. So the outside may look like it did originally, but then you go inside and they've got their own take on, modern homes on the inside, or even stores. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I love seeing new lines and new ways homes are built, or little beautiful, quaint little towns and little themes for little cities. It's very festive. I love that because yes, I can always forget that I live in London. It's so quick for me to remember when I'm, seeing double decker red buses and buildings that are older than I could even imagine. It just makes you want to always feel closer to where you are. And it always makes you want to like really take care of where you are because of where this place has been and the history that goes behind it. Just every day when I go to work, I always travel over I used to say it was the Thay River, but apparently it's honestly, I don't know how to say it, because is it Thames? Toms. Listen, I've said Thomas before. Y'all gonna judge me so much, but tomato, tomato, American, British. When I go over the river to get to work and I get to see the London Eye, and recently Big Ben, because it's been under construction for some years. They've been updating Ben, and that is always a very quick reminder that I live in London and I live in this beautiful, rich architectural city that I try not to take advantage of its beauty and its wonder when there's beautiful events and different things happening. It's a very beautiful place to live. And so I am really grateful that I get to be a part of this culture, and that like my daughter was born in Queen Charlotte Hospital. So it's a good feeling to be surrounded by all of that. I know that it's not always a positive history. The fact that I get to walk down the cobblestones means that it has taken a turn, whether we want to admit that or not. That's the truth. Me being here means the history means something different. Reason number 9, rich architectural history here in the UK, and the buildings and the history and everything out in the streets themselves, the cobblestone, everything. So that is number 9. Number 10, I've spoken about before. The 10th reason why I will never move back to America. When I moved here, I was moving here because I was a songwriter, but I've also always been a Broadway singer, and I've always wanted to get into voiceover. In America, I wasn't quite able to do all of them because they all branch out into different places at their best. So like, I'm not saying that I couldn't do voiceovers in New York, but depending on who you're represented by or the work that you get, maybe it's best for you to be in LA to do that kind of stuff. Also, just being on film and television versus Broadway, having to be in all different kinds of places, and, knowing that in this city, it's all in one place. I think that is what brought me here originally, because I remember when I was doing Dreamgirls that I would be able to be in this one place and get all of those things that I've always wanted to do under one roof. And so songwriting brought me here. Initially, I was brought here as a songwriter. Well, I wasn't brought here, I brought myself. Initially, I came here and filed for my global talent visa. And it was because of my songwriting. It was because some of my songs had already been written and were about to be out on the radio. And I wanted to be a part of that. So as soon as I realized that that was something I enjoyed doing, I ended up getting a publishing deal with that. So now I'm a published songwriter. It really means a lot to me. So I was able to do that. So that was check. And then I was able to go back into the West End, as you know, and that was a check. Then I was like, well, I've always wanted to do voiceover. So I started to do commercials, and I have been doing many commercials over the past like 4 or 5 years since I moved here. And so I was able to do that. So that was a check. And so I was very excited that I was able to finally live somewhere where all of the things that I love to do artistically were all under one roof. And it makes life easier, especially now that I'm a mom, because if I can do everything in the same city, then, that means that I'm always able to be home too and do it. I don't have to travel because I used to travel a lot for work, go to other countries and perform or do whatever I was contracted to do. So it's nice that now I'm able to do that and be at home with my family, go do a voiceover and then come home to my whole family. So it feels really good to have all of my artistic things that I love to do, all the things that make me who I am as a performer under one roof, and that I'm able to really do it all in one city, in a city that is bringing me so much joy and so much promise in my career. And it's like no hard feelings to America, but it just wasn't hitting for me. So my life and my career brought me here. My heart is here. I have three hearts here. My baby, my little baby, and my own heart. It's gonna be really hard to walk away from London town. So I don't have any plans to do that anytime soon. This is definitely a permanent circumstance. Listen, I really hope you enjoyed these 10 reasons why I won't be moving back to America. But really, it's 10 reasons why I really love living in London. Now, listen, eventually, would you like to see 10 reasons London gets on my nerves too video? Because there's some stuff here that I be getting mad at about every day that these people in this London town try to do and get away with, and I'm just not having it. So if you want to see a video about the BS that these suckers be trying to pull off, I will do one of those too. Listen, these last two videos, I'm not gonna lie, they were like pulling teeth because of my schedule, but we made it through. And I hope you enjoyed them. And I hope you enjoyed these random sporadic places that I've been filming my videos. I've also been trying to play with how I'm able to film content and like where I look the best and what vibes I'm giving off. And I'm getting a lot of feedback. So thank you so much. Listen, if you're not liking or subscribing to my channel, what are you waiting on? Let's get that popping right now. So please like, subscribe, share, comment on this video, and let me know, what else you want me to talk about and what else we can talk about. I have so many other things coming in store for you. I haven't chose next week's topic yet, but I can guarantee it's going to be juicy. It's time for us to start laughing a bit. I feel like these videos were a little serious. So it's probably because I'm a little exhausted. Like, I basically want to just pass out. But here I am. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm not going to lie. So you guys let me know what you want to see next, and I will try to bring it to you. I do have a list. I'm accumulating a list because you guys are commenting about what you would like to see next. So I really appreciate that. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I will see you guys honestly in a few days because I need to be pushing out some more videos very soon. Yeah? All right. Thank you so much. Bye.